Guys, I'm thinking about quitting TikTok. Now, if you want me to stick around, drop a comment. If for nothing other than the algorithm. TikTok, where we learn and where we laugh so much, have done for years potentially. TikTok, where there's just been a new hire for a public policy manager for hate speech or hate speech. I don't know, it depends on your accent. Oh, that's good, right? That's good, by the way. Can't have hate speech on this platform as long as the person is level headed, reasonable, and doesn't abuse their position to engineer a specific truth on the platform and silence anyone who doesn't fall in line. As long as they're not that, not a nutter, this is great. We want no hate speech, right? We want this to be a safe environment where people aren't harassed and bullied and all the bad stuff, right? So, who is this new hire? Oh, ex-Israeli military instructor and self-described proud American Jew, nothing wrong with that, by the way, I'm just reporting it, who spent 2 years in the IDF. Did I say that already? Yeah, probably. Erica Mindell. Her reported salary by Jewish News, an online news outlet, is £280,000. The job is New York City based in America, the cultural capital. Not sure why the salary is listed by Jewish News, the website, in pounds. That's a bit odd. Pounds is used in the UK. But that's, by the way, over $300,000 a year. Mindel doing well. Mindel doing well. That's more than most people make in 10 years. In some parts of the world, more than people make in 20 years. Wow. Now, there is obviously a concern that Miss Mindel is not the right fit for the job. Some might say, I'm not, some might say, right? Many have seen the words ex-IDF instructor and hate speech moderator in the same sentence and started freaking out. The math isn't mathing, right? Let me tell you what came to my mind. Right? I'm not saying it's the same thing. It's just what came to my mind when I heard this news. Even though we're both probably sitting down, walk with me, mentally walk with me, right? What came to my mind was Avatar: The Last Airbender. What a banging show! I'd watch it again right now if I had the time, right? What came to mind was Avatar: The Last Airbender. Google this, type this out after you watch my video. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. Ask ChatGPT, what does that mean? There is no war in Ba Sing Se. Says who? Judy. Judy says there is no war in Ba Sing Se. Avatar was a cartoon, you see, and there was a war going on, but the great city of Ba Sing Se had a secret police force that engineered a grand narrative. Remember that phrase. That engineered a grand narrative within the walls of the city, whereby the citizens were told there is no war. They would be hypnotized in some cases. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. There would be, dissenters who said, no, there is a war. I just saw the war. There's conflict outside. No. Hypnotize them. There is no war in Ba Sing Se, guys. There is no war. That's the news. There was a 100-year war, by the way, raging. But anyway, that's the news. That's the cartoon references. Now here is the analysis to wrap up. This is what you probably came for. TikTok hired this person because America, this is my analysis, this is my assessment, it's not fact. TikTok hired this person because America, I believe, is the single largest market for TikTok. Its wealthy citizens sell, buy, gift each other, subscribe, and all kinds, go live, right? And of course, TikTok gets a cut of any money that moves about. TikTok Shop, big one, big fat income source. If staying in the in the US, if staying in the US means that ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, has to throw the US a bone by hiring in line with what America is being pressured to push on social media, so be it. We'll hire who you want, or give us a pool and we'll hire from there. No problem. As long as we can stay in the US. AIPAC, of course, continues to bribe. Lobby, the US government to cater to Israel's needs. Not shocking, by the way. That's their job as the Israel lobby, as they are widely referred to as. It's their job to support the Israeli narrative, the Israeli state in America is to support them. But this targeting of social media shows something else is up. The American, and the Israeli specifically grand narrative is fraying. It's ripping apart. American on one side, Israeli on the other side. The American people Democrats and Republicans both seem to be aligned on at least this matter, that Israel should not come above the US. That America first, right? And that American, freedom loving American, should be free to trash talk or praise or criticize or debate Israeli action, state policy, military action, whatever. Because freedom, right? Freedom. Where's my freedom? The idea to an American that you can criticize America, you can make fun of the president, but you can't criticize Israel, sets off their freedom loving tripwires in their brain. Something goes, right? Oh, my amendments, right? My freedom, my freedom. Where's my freedom going? Do I need to Second Amendment this bad boy? Like, nations steer their populations, you see, towards what the state wants them to believe, to keep the peace and the public order, or to encourage certain behaviors on a national scale. Have more children, have less children, work harder, send your kids to this place or that place, into trade or into education, higher education. You know, nations have all kinds of grand narrative and social campaigns, right? In some cases, to engineer consent for policy changes, consent for a war somewhere, right? Nations will push the grand narrative, will shape the grand narrative to the benefit of the administration, to the state. Now, this is called the grand narrative, the national grand narrative. There's a US grand narrative, there's a UK grand narrative, there's a Russian grand narrative. You get the point. The truth usually, the actual objective fact, usually lies between grand narratives. What I do, of course, is use my extensive threat intelligence and research capabilities and assess the grand narratives from each part of the world and combine it with the fact based research I also do to bring you the news without that Western spin, without the grand narrative predominantly found in the West. But for how long can I do that? And what topics can I analyze and report on is up for debate. Guys, help me push this video, right? Like it, bookmark, comment, blah, 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 blah. If you're watching on YouTube, you know this ship has already sailed. If you're watching on TikTok, you know, maybe. Now, after all, there are people on earth right now, we're going back to the talk about what you can talk about. What is hate speech? There are people on earth right now that can justify withholding. Hear me carefully, please. There are people on earth right now that can justify withholding baby formula from kids. They can eloquently speak and justify that. Withholding sacks of flour from mothers clutching bony, hungry babies in their arms and say, there's a reason. Here my reason for that. One may, not me, no, maybe me, I don't know, but I'm saying someone may, understandably, call this out and call those who are engineering a famine absolute monsters. One may call them evil. One may call them perpetrators or, vile, pathetic excuses for human beings. And one may have called them animals, but that would insult animals. What have animals done that is so barbaric as what we humans are capable of, after all? One may look at what's happening withholding baby food, for example, and say, wow, that's not even animalistic. Animals don't do that. Don't insult animals. But criticizing those who defend the right to cut food and water to civilians, some may call that criticism hate speech. Oh, look, and there's a new hate speech sheriff in town, ready to try desperately to rebuild the fast crumbling Israeli grand narrative amongst US citizens. Something tells me you guys in the, I was going to say in the Americas, in the States, something tells me the people in the States are not so stupid. They never were. We're not as informed, perhaps. We're not as distracted. They were distracted, perhaps, before, but they weren't stupid. And now, especially, now the eyes are open and the mind is alert. The nose of the American citizen, Republican and Democrat, okay, noses on both sides of the aisle, sniff continuously. Any whiff of Hasbara BS, and they pick it up fast. I would say good luck, therefore. I would say good luck, therefore, trying to dupe these new, aware, vigilant Americans and any other citizens on earth. I would wish you good luck trying to trick them too, but I don't wish good luck to those who peddle lies and the spin. No spin allowed here. So for the unbiased news and analysis without that stupid I'm Mahfouz. And hopefully I'll keep seeing you on the next one.